Hi, Dr. Bridget here with another prescription for success. Today we're going to be talking about anchoring positive emotions. So, anchoring positive emotions, what an anchor is that when we apply a stimulus at the height of an emotion, then the two things become neurologically linked. And we can use this to anchor positive emotions, we can use it to get rid of negative emotions. And if you think about it, if we've got positive emotions anchored and we can use them at will, then life becomes really interesting and we can use those just to move forward and be positive. The flip side of it is if you've anchored to negative emotions, so distress, sadness, disappointment, fear, and you've got those sort of in your past, then you're not going to be able to move forward. There's all sorts of reasons for getting those positive emotions anchored, and it's what I teach on courses. So on the NLP Practitioner courses, we talk about anchoring. Even on the trainers training courses that I've done recently, we anchor positive emotions and we use stories to chain those together. So that's a really interesting way of presenting and changing the state of an audience. So, but you can do it yourself. So because I've been training online recently, we've been using ourselves to anchor emotional states on our knuckles. And what we need to do for this, and if you like to follow along or use this afterwards, is to just choose a knuckle where you want to have your positive emotions attached to. Then we need to choose our emotions. So I'm feeling a little bit on the buzzy side and determined side and busy side at the moment. I've just been on an interesting business retreat, and I could do with some calm. So I thought I might anchor some calm on my knuckle. So what we do is, and I'll put the script in the blog, is we say to ourselves, can you remember a time where you were totally calm? It's quite a specific script. So as you remember that time, go back to that time, float down into your body, see what you saw, hear what you heard, and feel those feelings of being really, really calm. As soon as you feel that calmness coming up for you with that memory, you then just put your finger on that knuckle, and as soon as it starts to disappear again, you take it off. So one of the memories that I often use is for calm is sort of when you wake up, you know, that time where you're sort of in bed and you're sort of halfway between your sleep and your awakening, and it's like you're sinking into the mattress. That's a really great one for me. So can I remember a time when I was totally calm? So I'm feeling that now. So as I remember that time, and I like to shut my eyes, I'm going back to that time, floating down into my body, seeing what I saw, hearing what I heard, feeling that feeling of being totally calm. And then as it goes off, I take off that anchor. So it's always going to be in the same place. Another time where I remember being really calm is when I sit in the garden with my feet on the ground and do some grounding and a bit of meditation. So again, can I remember a time when I'm totally calm? Yeah. So as I remember that time, I'll go back to that time, float down into my body, see what I saw, hear what I heard, and really feel those feelings of being totally calm. I'm just visualizing myself there, and then take it off as I come out of that state. And another time that I feel totally calm is when I sit down by the river. So I quite often take a book down there. I've got a cup of coffee. I can just hear the water running in the river. And so can I remember another time where I'm feeling totally calm? So yeah, as I remember that time, I float down into my body, see what I saw, hear what I heard, and really feel those feelings of total calmness. It's lovely. And then I'll take that anchor off. So I'm just doing one emotion here, but as I remember, as I think about that time now, and I press my knuckle, just that calmness just washes over me, because it's been neurologically linked to this stimulus that I'm pressing my knuckle. So this means that any time I need some calm, I can press my knuckle, and it's almost like a bit of goosebumps sort of went over me, and I just went, oh. So think of some emotions that you'd like to have. Maybe it's excitement, determination, focus, those sort of emotions. And then I'll put the script in the blog, but it's, can you think of a time where you were totally, whatever it was, as you think of that time, go back to that time, float down into your body, see what you saw, hear what you heard, and really feel those feelings of being totally, whatever the emotion was, and stick it on the same knuckle. So 4 or 5 of those, either the same state or different, similar states, and just have a go. And it's really useful, and as I press that now, I think, that just sort of runs straight through me, that calm, and it's a little technique that you can use to get whatever state you need, and that's really helpful in your business, in your life. And I'm feeling really calm now, so I'm just gonna finish this off, and I shall see you next week. Bye.